So here's the thing about Fire Force Season 3, Episode 2. It, very similar to last week's episode, is not an explosive episode. It's, if anything, a slow episode. And are many people gonna rant and rave about this episode? Probably not. And to be honest, I don't really think that's an issue because at the end of the day, like with last week, it's kind of a calm before the storm style episode. With that said, however, with where we leave off this week, I doubt we're going to have many slower moments for the foreseeable future. I could be mistaken about the structuring, but my impression is we've kind of reached a turning point in this show. Because not only was our boy Obi kidnapped and about to be, subjugated to corruption, hopefully we get there in time to stop the insect. The thing is they're kind of a band of rebels at this point. Like, even if we save Obi, the general public and everyone is under the assumption that our Fire Force crew are scumbags. We have the end of the world approaching, like apocalypse level doomsday is on the horizon, right? And our characters, even if we save Obi, or we don't save Obi, we are then, it's just going to be non-stop balls to the walls insanity of fighting for our life and fighting for the world. And I truly don't think there will be a lot of downtime outside of, okay, we escaped so-and-so, let's catch our breath. But then it's just going to be non-stop insanity. So while this episode wasn't anything crazy, and I think a lot of people aren't probably going to discuss it in depth that much, I think it was an enjoyable episode, and probably 3-4 weeks from now, we're going to look back and say, damn, like, we're not even having time to catch our breath watching the show anymore because of the bullshit that we're dealing with. Good bullshit, but still bullshit nonetheless. And to be honest, the end of the world in a Soul Eater style fashion is probably going to hit different. Now, of course, we do have the full live reactions over on Patreon. If you want to support my work, see my full thoughts on these episodes, it's going to be over there exclusively. So, a lot of characters came back. I said it last week, gotta say it again. I haven't watched this show since Season 2 ended, and it was a hot minute ago. No pun intended, since we saw this show. Had some people last week say, yeah, I just recently got caught up, and it's like, oh, my sweet summer child, you just wait until you get your first taste of an anime that makes you wait like 5 years, sometimes 10 years to come back. It's an experience. But either way, it's easy to forget about characters. Now, of course, when they show me Joker, I'm like, Joker, of course, it all comes back to me. But then I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about the queen. You didn't even have to say anything, you just saw her standing on the two peasants below, and you're like, oh yeah. All the Season 2 nonsense coming right back in my noggin. And I do like seeing how a majority of the people, like, people that, while we've had our beefs with, are pretty much all under the assumption that, like, something's amok. Like, something's going on, and they don't really believe, Company 8's as much of a scumbag as maybe the media and everyone else is making them out to be. Burns, I'm still torn on, because here's the thing. The character he's interacting with can see his, like, main thoughts. So, religious, believer, blah, 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 whatever it is, right? So when he's like, hey, I turned on my people, or I immediately said, I believe in your vision, you can't just be like, okay, I take him at face value. But when you read into his mind and you're like, I mean, he's saying what he's, like, it lines up. But the thing is despite at face value all this feeling like he's being truthful, I still feel like we're going to get a double cross on the double cross. I'm not sure what his endgame will truly be, but this is the man that if there's any character in this show who I think can bullshit with the straightest of poker face, with internal thoughts included, it's probably this guy. Could be mistaken, but time will tell. Now, what was really fun was how they immediately kickstart the episode with our boy getting, I forget what they call it, but the mental link thing, and he was able to see that, oh shit, Obi's gonna get screwed around. Because without that, they probably would have took things a lot more slow and careful, but, our boy Shinra's like, nah, like, we gotta go pronto. Insert Joker, hey boys, let me take you to my super secret lair. I don't know if we've ever seen this, because we've seen this lair before, especially in Season 2, and I think even in Season 1. It just says, like, secret lair above the door. Yeah, but don't worry, people don't come down here. But why advertise it, boss? Like, why are we doing this? And I just love the fact that it's, like, some oddly wholesome bonding between Joker and him, because, like, our boy's flying like the Human Torch. He's on his hog, and he's like, hey, why are you doing this? And he's like, listen, there's very few people I like in this world, but Obi's one of them. You also are included in that list. And I'm like, okay, That's oddly wholesome for someone who might have stabbed us in the neck at a moment's notice in prior episodes. But I love Joker, man. He's such a anomaly in this show, and we do end with essentially the prison break starting. Unfortunately, it looks like Obi's tied up, and I think by the time we get down there, he might already be infected. And I'm bracing myself for disappointment with Obi not making it, but I am hoping he does. Because if I brace myself for he won't make it, it's not going to hurt as bad if he doesn't make it. But if I just say, nah, he's of course going to make it to the finish line, and then they sideswipe me, it's going to hurt a little too much. So I'm going to hold out hope. Because, like, my favorite characters in the show, like in no particular order, I love Shinra, I love Arthur, I love Obi, I love Joker, and I'm forgetting her name, but the dominatrix woman who steps on her people, I like her too. I just feel like now that we're in the kind of endgame style of things, passing of torch moments, it could happen. But I also feel like with how they did the flashback at the start, it's kind of like very much relevant that like he's the heart of the crew and like needed. So I don't know. We'll see, I suppose. But this was a fun episode. Like this was a setup episode. This was a calm before the storm episode. And I'm sure there are going to be those complaints that like, okay, we come back after all these years in episode 1 and 2, barely anything's happened. Because technically that's true. Our boy did get kidnapped. Burns did, do some bullshit. But at the end of the day, it has been a lot of like, okay, we need to take the fight back to them, get our boy, and we need to stop the end of the world. But now we're actually at that point, and it feels like a turning point. Now, granted, could this show surprise me and like we rescue him or he dies and there's more like, but it does feel like we're at the point where kind of similar to like the last season of Soul Leveling. Once it gets started, it feels like every episode for the foreseeable future is probably going to have some insane bullshit. And I'm very excited for that. I fully admit I am a Fire Force fanboy. I'm not one of those people that will be like, oh my god, like, here's all, like, the entire reason I probably like episodes 1 and 2 of this season as much as I do is because I'm a fanboy. And even when it's slower and not the craziest, greatest thing I've ever seen, I'm just happy to be in this world. I admit that. I have no problem admitting that. But I also recognize they are establishing some pretty crazy narratives. It's just we gotta be a little more patient than maybe we were initially hoping walking into this season. But I think they're going to deliver, and I guarantee even if this core isn't non-stop craziness from here, I'm pretty damn sure the second core will be. You let me know your thoughts and feelings down below, whether if you're a fan of that manga or if you're anime original like myself. What did you think, and how crazy is the Prison Break going to be next week in your opinion? You let me know. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course ring that bell, and like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll just give you a video shout out. Alrighty, so today we got 4-6, Andrew Thomas, No Name Needed, Doc, Tyrun, Danny Boy, Simon Lau, Miguel Martinez, Greedex23, and we also have Jenny Stiegels. I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. You'll have a good one.